guys, Lori here. I'm here today to do part 2 of my June reading wrap up. Overall, I wound up listening to finish reading 15 books, and I finished listening to 3 books, which I think was kind of impressive. This month was kind of a blur. It went by super fast. A lot of changes happened this month. I will talk about that in my July TBR because there's a bunch of changes coming to me. Overall, all fun changes. I hope you guys will join us for a couple of them as well, but there are definitely changes. So those I'm going to address in my July TBR video, but let's get into what's the rest of the books that I found I finished reading in the month of June. Bunch of these are older books, to be honest with you, that I just really wanted to get to, and some of them are BEA picks as well. I have a lot of BEA picks planned for July, so make sure you keep a nose out. The first book that I finished reading was from Entangled Teen, and it's Sarah Wolf's Bring Me Their Hearts. I really like this book. It was like a really interesting witch novel. It's about this girl named Zira who's a heartless, which means she's under the control of a witch. And her country is on the brink of war. So she is sent in as an assassin to try to get a connection to the prince, and it winds up being a really twisty turny story. I really liked it. I gave it 4 stars. I was on a blog tour for it, so my review is posted. I really like this cover too. I just thought it was so well done. I love witch stories, and this was like the perfect book for that. I gave it 4 stars. Definitely will be checking out book 2 whenever that comes out, but it was such a fun read. Definitely a more higher fantasy, but I really did like it. So that is the first book that I finished reading in the second half of June. Second book, according to Goodreads, is an audiobook I have been listening to since March. That is Lady Midnight by Cassandra Clare. These books are behemoths, and they are so big, and I knew I just could not physically take this everywhere with me. But I really did like this book, and it's like the opposite complaint I have of the end of the City of Heavenly Fire series. I wanted a little bit more connection back to those characters than we really got. We got very, very subtle glimpses, but I just wanted to know a little bit more about them because I'm definitely more invested currently in those characters than I am in these characters. I do like them a lot, but I really did like this book. I gave it 4 stars. I'm definitely debating how I'm going to experience the next book, if I'm going to listen to it or read it. I do have a signed copy from Cassandra Clare, so I might not want to read that book, but I know that James Masters Spike from Buffy does the audiobook, so that might be how I wind up experiencing that. Not anytime soon. If I do wind up listening to it, I'm gonna start listening to it in September because I need to get through a couple of other quicker audiobooks. But I really liked it. I gave it 4 stars. I do have a review up on my channel. I thought that the audiobook was really good, and I just love the dynamics between all the characters. I love the new characters that we met. And I love big families, and Julian's family is this always makes me smile. So I'm definitely excited to check out Lord of Sarahs, hopefully this fall. That book was also part of the Pop Sugar Reading Challenge, not the Pop Sugar Reading Challenge, the Beat the Backlist Challenge, because it came out in 2016. This next book also is part of the Pop Sugar Reading Challenge because it has a set of twins in it, and the Beat the Backlist Challenge because it came out a couple of years ago, and that is The Adventure Ends by Emma. I was not sick, I just had like a bad cold and stuff like that. But when I was sick in the start of the year, I wound up reading Foolish Hearts in like a day, and I love that book so much. I gave that book 5 stars, put it on my keep shelf. I actually was really excited for this book, and I really did enjoy it. I gave it 4 stars. It basically follows this girl who recently moved to a totally new town in Florida, and she wound up getting sucked up into this group of friends that has like, inside jokes and stuff like that. There was a lot of fandom connections. There's a mystery that was guiding it. They are on the hunt for something. And it was just super fun. I really liked it. I thought it was such a fun read. I loved how fandom and writing and friendship got involved, and I thought that it was just super fun. It was a little bit predictable towards the end, but overall I really liked it, and I gave it 4 stars. I still have one Emma Mills book that I have not read, and that is First and Then, which I desperately want to read maybe this summer, and then she has a new book coming out in the winter next year, which I'm definitely going to be reading. And the cover they recently revealed the cover, and it looks gorgeous. I'm definitely going to need that on my shelves for sure. But I wound up giving this book 4 stars, and I really liked it. The next book going on my contemporary kick was Stay Sweet by Siobhan Vivi. Now, I am considering this book for the Pop Sugar Reading Challenge for a book about feminism. If you guys know nothing about me, I went to an practically all-girl college, Wells College in upstate New York. I was the second co-ed class ever in that institution. So I had a very, very small male population in my school for the first 2 years that I was there. It got a little bit bigger, but there was a lot of dynamics that I felt were represented really well in this book. Basically follows this all girl ice cream stand, and it's like it's in this year where this girl becomes the head of it. But at the start of the book, the owner of this ice cream stand dies. Just she passes away, and it kind of sends a wretch when her long lost nephew comes and is trying to manage this ice cream stand. And it was really, really well done. I really liked it. I thought that the dynamics between the girls and boy dynamics is something that I definitely experienced a lot at Wells. Some good, some bad, but I definitely did love the sisterhood that happened. I thought it was a little bit predictable towards the end, but I gave it 4.5 stars. I really just liked it. I thought it was super fun. I thought that the girl dynamics were so interesting, and I really, really enjoyed it. I definitely want to read more by her in the future. I know she has a couple of joint series with Jenny Han out that I have not read yet, but I really, really liked it. And if you're looking for kind of more of like a girl take charge type of book, I definitely recommend this one. There is like a brief romance. I wouldn't say it's the major point in this book is definitely more focused on the female dynamics and the female friendship, but the romance is like a sticky storm in the side because it's kind of Romeo and Juliet romance. But I really liked it. I gave it 4.5 stars, and it was a great summer read. And it will make you a very, very hungry for ice cream. And if you go on my Instagram, you'll see the pre-order campaign that I got, and I got a shirt and a pin, and that's on my Instagram as well. The next book I wound up reading is a book that does not come out until September. It was a BEA pick, and it is Small Spaces by Katherine Arden, who was also the author of The Bear and the Nightingale and The Girl in the Tower. This is also her middle grade debut, and it basically follows this girl. It is set right around Halloween, and right the book starts, she's kind of adventuring in her town. She ends up coming across a lady who's throwing a book into the river, and she kind of takes it home, and it kind of sets across this adventure that she kind of wasn't planning. There's a lot of dual timeline stuff, but it's definitely a creepy story with 3 kids trying to save their classmates from unpenetrable horrors that this book has led them to. It was super fun. My review will be posted closer to when it comes out, and I will do a middle grade mashup around then, which I will include that book in. But overall, I really liked it. I just thought it was a great, definitely creepier book for middle grade, and it was definitely a fun read. Like, I think I read it in like a day. It was just really, really fun to read, but definitely like slightly creepy. If you have kids that like are less creeped out by stuff or want to like have some creepy reads for the Halloween, that would actually be a really, really fun one. It was really, really quick, and I love a trio dynamic, especially in middle grade where there's 3 characters, and that had it, and I just thought it was really, really fun. And I don't like scary things. I get creeped out really easily, but this book I actually really did enjoy. So, yeah, that's my thoughts about Small Spaces by Katherine Arden. And again, it comes out in September. Also, since I normally read a lot of contemporary books in the summer, what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to do a mashup at the end of August, and I'm going to pick my top 5 contemporaries and tell you guys about them then, because I will be doing videos, like individual reviews, just there'll be a lot of them, so I'm kind of going to pick my top at the end of August and just kind of give you guys a mashup then. But the next book that I read will definitely be in that mashup, and it is Save the Date by Morgan Matson. This book just came out. I went to her signing. She was lovely. I love this book so much. I'm always sad that we have to wait 2 years for her books. But it basically follows this girl named Charlie. She comes from a big family. There's a lot of changes coming on in her life. Her mom is a cartoonist, and her comic strip that is basically inspired by her family lives is coming to an end. Charlie is about to start her senior year in high school, and she's dealing with a lot of like family drama. And yeah, so that's basically the premise of the book, and it basically takes place over 3 days, and when Charlie's sister's wedding planner goes away, and there is a lot of drama that is set up around this wedding and getting it back on track. It was a breeze to read this book. I flew through it. It was so much fun. I love Charlie's Family. I love books about big family, maybe because I am an only child and I don't have any siblings, but I love reading books about big families. This book was no exception. There was an adorable dog that was just adorable. I love the romance in this as well. That's the only thing. I did give it 5 stars, but I just wanted a little bit more of the romance, but I do understand that it was definitely more of a self-discovery novel. I love all the hijinks that happen. I love the dynamics between the siblings. It was great. This is definitely one of my favorite books of June that I read, and I really, really liked it. So, if you guys are contemplating checking out Morgan Matson, I highly recommend you check out any of her books, but this one was definitely a fun and really, really quick-paced read. So, was able to get an Arc of Wildcard at BEA, and I desperately wanted to re-listen or reread Warcross, so I decided to listen to the audiobook of Warcross, and I'm really, really glad that I did, and that is my next listen. A year ago, I think I do have a non-spoiler review of Warcross that I have on my channel. So if you guys want to go check out that where I talk non-spoilers, go talk about that. The second I finish Wildcard, I'm going to do a non-spoiler video review, and I'll put that on my channel. And then when Wildcard actually comes out, I'll do a spoiler discussion with you guys because I want to talk to someone about it. But I will be patient and not spoil you guys until then. But overall, I was really, really happy that I decided to re-listen to this. I think it's really important. It is such a complicated world, but I really am happy that I re-listened to it. I still gave it 4 stars. I still say one of the twists was really, really predictable, but other than that, it was a really, really fun read. And right now, I'm reading Wildcard, and I'm really enjoying it. Next book I read, I was super excited about because I finally finished the Aslan, I think it's the Everland series. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think this series has like a title, but it's Everland, Umberland, and Ozland. I really, really love this book. I thought it was great. I wound up giving it 4 stars. I was so happy that we got to see Doc as a main character in this. Really don't want to spoil it, but I will say that each book is set in a fictional world. The first one is a retelling of Neverland. The second is a retelling of Wonderland, and this obviously is a retelling of Oz. But I really, really loved it. I don't want to talk spoilers, but if you guys want a spoiler discussion of the series, let me know because I read them in pretty quick succession recently, so I can probably talk about it. I mean, I definitely can. But I really liked it. I love Doc. I love how it ends. It's definitely a series I'm going to have to re-listen to one day because these books are just so fun. I'm definitely eventually going to get physical books for my shelf because these covers are so pretty. But overall, I really, really enjoyed this book as well. And then my next read was a quick read, and I'm actually doing a post with them for a blog tour, but it's the Unicorn Rescue Society Book 2, The Bass Dragon. This book was adorable. It was just so cute. I loved book 1. I listened to the audiobook. I got this book from Penguin at BEA, and it was just a fun read. I'm going to be on a blog tour for it, and I'll post my review, and I'm also going to chat about what magical creature I would like as a pet. But it was just so fun. It follows Elliot and Yushena as they go on another adventure with Professor Fauna to try to find a dragon. I love how the world was expanded, and I know that these books will be lovely illustrated when it goes out to the general public, but it was just so fun. I really loved it. I definitely cannot wait for book 3, which I will definitely be reading because now I am definitely hooked. Taught me a very, very valuable lesson. Laura, when you are in the middle of reading a series and you haven't read the previous series in a while, it's probably a good idea, especially if it's a mystery series or like a fantasy series, to reread the first book or re-listen to the book. I should know better. Obviously, I didn't. But that was what happened with The Case for Jamie by Brittany Cavallaro. I read this. I enjoyed it. I gave it 4 stars. I probably would have given it 5 stars, but I really, really struggled to remember what happened in the last of August. They do tell you, but boy, did I need a really, really big refresher course. So they are coming out with a book 4. So next year I'm going to just marathon listen to these 2 books. So I can definitely be prepared for the Charlotte in Question, which comes out, I think, in March. But overall, I really liked it. I thought it was a really interesting way. I loved the case. I loved how Jamie and Charlotte were separated. I love how you got both of their point of views. I just really liked it. I just wish I would have remembered book 2 a little bit better. But those are all the books that I finished reading in the month of June. And yeah, so I'm going to right now I'm going to go figure out what books I'm going to read in July, and I'll come back and do that TBR with you. And let me know in the comments what was your most exciting book that you guys read in June. And yeah, I will definitely be around in the comments, so I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.